తమిళనాడు ముఖ్యమంత్రి జయలలిత విశ్వరూపం సినిమాపై మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు ఆ లైవ్ చూద్దాం.
11,000 police personnel. And in sensitive areas like Coimbatore, Ramanathapuram, at least 10 pickets on average for a district would be required with a strength of 20 personnel. That would make a total of 7,500. And there has to be a striking force ready in each district for any emergency. So the striking force at the rate of 6 per district with 30 personnel each would be 6,500. So all in all, if Vishwaroopam was to be released in 524 theatres, the total manpower required just for bandobast and protection for Vishwaroopam alone for these theatres would be 56,440. Whereas the actual availability is only 9,226. Now I would like you to ponder over these figures. How is it practically possible for a state government to provide protection and maintain law and order when we don't have adequate manpower? If it is a case of just 2 or 3 theatres, probably it could be done. But 524 theatres, I have given you all the figures. So I would also like you to understand what is the meaning of maintaining law and order. Maintaining law and order doesn't mean allowing a situation to turn violent, allowing violence to take place, and then stepping in to try and quell the violence and restore peace. And particularly when you have only a limited police force, as we do in the state. What would be the alternative for the government? This is what we normally do. We rely on intelligence inputs. If intelligence reports tell us that there is likely to be trouble in a certain place, there are likely to be violent incidents in a certain place due to such and such reasons, then what the government would do, what the police would do is to take preventive action to see that that violence does not occur. Now, for example, there are certain political leaders who create trouble wherever they go. If they enter a sensitive district and if they are allowed to make some rabble-rousing speeches, there are always violent incidents. So at sometimes, because there is no other option, the district administration, the collector takes the decision of banning that person's entry into the district for a certain period of time. Thereby we maintain peace. So maintaining law and order doesn't mean allowing a situation to erupt and turn violent and then trying to quell the violence. That's not always possible. It's not sensible. It's not practical. The sensible way of maintaining law and order and maintaining the public peace is to prevent violent incidents from occurring. And when you know that there is going to be violence in a certain situation, in a certain place, it is the duty of the government to do whatever is possible to prevent that from happening, to take preventive action. It is only in that spirit that we approached the issue of the release of the film Vishwaroopam. Now, I have been accused of having a personal motive in this. One motive that has been attributed is some business interest in a private TV channel. Many papers have published such reports. Many TV channels have reported such news. The channel in question is Jaya TV. Jaya TV is a channel which supports the All India Anna DMK. Other than that, Jaya TV does not belong to me, does not belong to the party. I do not own any shares in Jaya TV. I am not in any way associated with the administrative, day-to-day administration of the channel. I have nothing to do with Jaya TV. So to say that there was a demand that the film should be sold at a low price to Jaya TV and because of that I am taking this action, this is a wild, reckless charge against the responsible constitutional authority. And whoever has made these charges, we will have to take legal action against them, whether it is a newspaper, whether it is a TV channel. And the second is that I have some personal motive, some personal grudge against Mr. Kamala Hassan. And the reason being attributed for that is that he made a speech at a function somewhere saying that a dhoti-clad, a veshti-clad Tamil should become the Prime Minister. Now, why should I take offense to such a statement? Mr. Kamala Hassan has got the freedom to wear his political views like anyone else. If he wants a veshti-clad Tamil to become the Prime Minister, that is his opinion. And by now I have been in politics for enough years. I have been in politics for more than 30 years. I am experienced enough to know that Mr. Kamala Hassan does not select the Prime Minister of the country. So, at the time the elections take place, more than 100 crore people are going to cast their votes. And after that we have to see which formations emerge. And out of the emerging formations, the future Prime Minister will emerge. So why should I take offense? And then Mr. Karunanidhi has come out with a wild, fictitious story that I wrote a letter to Mr. MGR in the 1980s complaining about Kamala Hassan. Now, this is one of the most ridiculous pieces of fiction, one of the most absurd charges I have ever faced in my life. In the 1980s, I was meeting Mr. MGR on a daily basis. He was the Chief Minister. I was the propaganda secretary of the party and an MP. Every day he would go to the secretariat in the morning. I would go to the party office in the morning. In the afternoon, both of us would meet at his Mambalam office. We would have lunch together. After that, we would discuss various issues for hours together. I would brief him on all the issues concerning the party, about various petitions that were presented by party men, about various petitions that were given to me by members of the public wherever I went, and he would call the necessary officers and issue the necessary instructions. So when I was meeting him practically every day on a daily basis, why should I write a letter to him, and that too on such a trivial matter? So since Mr. Karunanidhi has made this fantastic charge, it cannot be dismissed lightly. So we will be instituting legal proceedings for defamation against Mr. Karunanidhi and all the newspapers which have published this fictitious defamatory charge. So I would like to make it clear that I have no personal grudge against anyone, no personal interest in banning the movie. I would also like to point out that if at all there is an adversary, if I do have an adversary, it is Mr. Karunanidhi himself, my political adversary. His family members are regularly producing movies and releasing them. I have not done anything to ban the movies produced by Mr. Karunanidhi's family members or stall the release. So why should I do so in the case of Mr. Kamala Hassan? Why should I have any grudge against Mr. Kamala Hassan? It just doesn't make sense. There is no reason, no motive at all. And then there has been some misleading information in the media that the state government doesn't have powers to ban a movie. Now that is a total misconception. I would like to correct that. We have the Tamil Nadu Cinemas Regulation Act 1955. Tamil Nadu Cinemas Regulation Act 1955. According to Section 7 of this Act, the state government has full powers to ban a movie if it feels there are sufficient reasons to do so. It was under this Act that the movie Damn 999 was banned. It was upheld by the Supreme Court. So the state government has got full powers. So, if I really wanted a ban on this movie, I could have banned the movie straight away. My government could have